Hi, thank you for joining the APMP Chesapeake Chapter State of the Chapter. For those of you who saw it live, this is a retake as we re-record because we had trouble with the initial audio. So thank you for those who were able to join live, and thank you for those that are watching it in replay. Brenda, next slide. So today we're gonna talk about what we've done in the past year, what the current state of the chapter is, some upcoming events, and go through some polls and some discussion. So first, I'd like to thank the APMP Chesapeake Chapter Board. I am Martha Swift, the Chesapeake Chapter Chair. I have had the honor of leading the chapter for the last several years. Sherry is our secretary. Alta is our treasurer. She is supported by Nikki Taylor, who is our vice treasurer. Brenda Christ, who many of you have probably met, as she works for Lofeld and is very active in the industry. She is our program chair, and she's supported by our vice chairs, Ayana, Kel, and joining the board is Melissa Shoemaker. She is a programs volunteer. Welcome to the board, Melissa. Mo Crannell, or Monica, is our mentoring chair. That position was added last year, and we are delighted to be able to have this new program as part of our offering. And then we have Diana and Jean May, who are responsible for sending out membership reminders and nagging people when their membership is about to lapse. And then we have Nazira, who heads our marketing communications group. She's supported by Dennis Wagner and Ann Poppy and Jessica Conrad, who is also a new volunteer to the board. So thank you so much to the Chesapeake Chapter Board. We are all volunteers. We have extremely busy careers, and we really appreciate the time that people volunteer to support our membership. Next slide. So in 2025, we are so glad that we were able to have 8 webinars. We typically do those the first Wednesday of the month. We've also had 3 in-person events. Those are typically luncheons. And because we are a chapter that has members all over the world, we've decided to include virtual luncheons as well, so that we can meet the broader needs of people who live in other locations or people who just don't have time to get away from their desks. Those virtual luncheons are a great opportunity to network with other chapter members. And we are so proud to be able to say that we've had over 1,900 attendees across all of those events. And the highlight of the year so far has been sponsored events at the APMP Bid and Proposal Con that was in May in Nashville. We hosted a table at the BPC registration, and it was so nice to meet the members from the Chesapeake chapter who were able to attend BPC. And we were so excited when people who have attended our webinars from other chapters stopped by to compliment us on how active we are as a chapter and just the overall quality of the offerings that we provide our membership. And, always a highlight of the year for me is when the Chesapeake chapter presents at BPC or at other events. And this year, Mo and Brenda and Nazira and I presented How to Compose a Hit Proposal, Lessons from Songwriting. It was a really fun workshop. I think that we got fantastic feedback from members and even external members outside of APMP Chesapeake Chapter saying how much they enjoyed it. It turned into sort of an impromptu sing-along, and we got such great feedback, we decided to provide it as an event in June. And so if you check our YouTube page, you can watch that in replay. We also, as I had mentioned, had added Mo as our membership vice chair, or excuse me, chair. And she launched the mentorship program. And so far we have matched 3 mentors with mentees. If you are looking for a mentee, please reach out to Mo. We're happy to match you up with someone who is very experienced within the industry. And it's a great opportunity if you want to mentor or if you want to be a mentee. We can help guide your career, provide you with contacts. If you want to transition out of your current role and into something at a different level or a higher level, or even transition to something else like program management, I think this program would be for you. I'm also very proud to announce that we recruited 2 new volunteers, Melissa and Jessica, to support the chapter chairs. And we are very honored to give 3 scholarships to the APMP Leadership Academy. And those individuals have all successfully graduated from the program and are able to add that to their professional accomplishments. Next slide. So our goals and challenges are kind of similar from year to year. One of my main goals as a chapter chair is making our chapter sustainable. When I joined the chapter board in around 2015, we only had a few individuals that were doing all of the roles on the board, and that really leads to burnout. And so one of the things that I am very proud of as a chair is that not only do we have individuals for each position, each chair role, but we have vice chairs and in some instances volunteers on top of that. And it really gives us the bench strength to help the chapter survive and grow. So that's something that I pat myself on the back for, because it's difficult to recruit volunteers to support an organization when you have such busy careers as we do. So the other thing that we are always constantly striving for is membership satisfaction. We are here to make the chapter the best chapter that we can. We want to make sure that we're providing really good quality programs and services. And, we try to get input from other members to make sure that you're getting what you want out of your membership. From the local Chesapeake chapter as well as the broader APMP organization. Of course, our goal is to increase chapter membership. The more members we have, the easier it is to offer things like scholarships and other events. And we want to make sure as leaders that you are getting a return on your investment in your chapter membership. And so we always strive to be good stewards of the chapter budget. Some of our challenges are identifying the right programs to increase membership engagement. We are very proud that we are able to have such an active chapter and we provide so much content. But we also want to make sure that that content that we're providing is right for the Chesapeake chapter members. And again, mentioning that, that the goal and challenge is making sure that we're reinvesting in the membership the way that is the most needed and wanted. And again, although we do have a full board, we want to make sure that we continue to have a full board, that we still have that bench strength to draw on, because people have challenges in their lives or changes, and we want to make sure that we are supporting the chapter as best we can, but also supporting our fellow chairs and volunteers. So next slide. So just at a glance, our board meetings, the Chesapeake Chapter Board meets at the first Monday of the month. Sometimes that moves, like next month will not be on the first Monday because that's a holiday. We do one program a month. It's typically a webinar the first Wednesday of each month from noon to 1. We also do in-person networking events. So as mentioned previously, We do luncheons, and the next one is going to be on August 19th, I think. It's on the next slide, and our next annual certification day, which is led by Lofeld, will be in September. And we also are encouraging everyone to self-nominate to join the board. You can start your nomination in October, and then we'll be doing elections in the end of November if we get any new nominations. Next slide. So these are just some statistics and information about the chapter. We currently have 153 members as of August 3rd. This number fluctuates. A lot of it has to do with as membership drops off and whether or not people's companies are willing to sponsor their membership, or if it's something that they're paying for personally, that may not be a priority for them. But we also tend to see an uptick right before the BPC conference because people want to take advantage of their membership to get that discount on the BPC event. Our members are literally all over the world. We even had a member as far as Singapore. The majority are in the Delmarva area, but we do have an active membership that is located all over the US as well as all over the world. I wanted to highlight that we have our website, which is www.chesapeakeapmp.org. That lists previous events, upcoming events, how you can reach out to the board. It also provides some helpful links on programs such as the Chesapeake Chapter Awards and things of that nature. We also have a very LinkedIn page. So if you are not linked in with us, please do start to follow us. We put a lot of information about upcoming events as well as other information that's of interest to our members. And of course, please subscribe to our YouTube page. We have almost all of the webinars that we have recorded up on that website. Just at a quick glance about our finances, we currently have roughly over 10K in our account. That income comes strictly from chapter rebates. So a portion of your APMP membership goes to the Chesapeake chapter, parts of it go to APMP overall, and that allows both the chapter as well as APMP to offer the programming that we do. We're very careful about how we reinvest our funds, and we really try to focus on growth opportunities, scholarships, and certifications. If you'd like to know more about that, reach out to us. Typically, our expenses include the luncheons that we do in person and other in-person events. We also have given out scholarships to the Leadership Academy. You also should keep an eye out if you want to get certified. That is offered at the APMP level, but if you would like to get certified, you can always reach out to us and we can see if the board can grant approval for that. We focus on member enrichment, communications. We also have all kinds of administrative fees like the website, Eventbrite, things like the post office box where we receive mail. So that is an update on our finances. We have a fairly healthy balance, and we are trying to increase that through sponsorships to help pay for some of our future events so that we can spend more of our account balance towards scholarships and things like that. Next. So this is a recap of the chapter events that we've had so far this year. January 8th, Beth and Brenda from Lofeld did the Proposal Chronicles, Continuous Improvement for Ongoing Success. In February, we had Kevin Plexico, who is from Deltec, and he did Current GovCon Trends and the Impacts of the New Administration. In February, we had our virtual luncheon, and we gave away a ticket to go to the GovGains conference. And the virtual luncheons are a really nice opportunity, as I said, to network. Maybe if you're having an issue that you want to discuss with another professional outside your company, you know, somebody that's on the phone may have gone through it or has great advice. So if you can't attend our in-person luncheons, we really hope that you'll attend the virtual luncheons. Then in March, Sydney from Patriot Data Graphics led a webinar on graphic design and data storytelling. It was really, really fascinating. I highly encourage you to go back and watching that if you have not. And always an APMP favorite, Mark Amtower, led a webinar on harnessing the power of LinkedIn for branding and marketing insights. And then in April, we had an in-person lunch at Mangiano's in Columbia. And then May 7th, Bruce Feldman from the Lofeld Group Consulting did bidding to winning, moving proposal from good to great using generative AI. And then on June 4th, as I had mentioned previously, we rebroadcast Composing a Hit Proposal, Lessons from Songwriting. That was presented by board members from the Chesapeake chapter, and that was what we had presented at BPC. And then on July 9th, Kel, who's also from our board, did a presentation on executive summaries. It was something that she had presented at BPC, and I had an opportunity to attend her session, and it was phenomenal. Kel did a fantastic job. And these are the upcoming events. So our next event is August 19th. That is an in-person lunch in Baltimore at the Iron Rooster. It is not too late to register for that. So if you haven't, please go onto our website and go to the link to Eventbrite and register for that. If you can't make it, we understand. Sometimes it's difficult to get away from the office. Then September 3rd, we have Empower Your Proposal Career, Harnessing AI as Your Competitive Advantage. That is going to be a webinar led by Sam Cooper, who will show us how to stay relevant, competitive, and in demand in the age of AI. As someone said at BPC, you won't lose your job to AI, but you'll lose your job to someone who knows AI. Then next we have on September 18th, the APMP Foundation certification. That's going to be led from Brenda from Lofeld Group. And if you have not gotten your certification, I really encourage you to register for this. It is so important to be able to show your credentials of, the importance of our positions as proposal managers. It gives you credibility. We are not just glorified admins. We are program managers who are leading strategic events, and we are helping our companies win business. So if you are not certified, I strongly encourage you to look into that. Next, we have Agile Business Development Techniques that will be led by Todd Baylor. And then we'll be having another in-person luncheon in Columbia. I think that'll be at Maggiano's again. That seems to be a good location for many people. And then November 5th, how to measure how well your company is doing today. That is going to be led by Peter Lerney, and that's going to be focusing on the metrics of how you can metrics you can use to measure success with your company. And I understand we'll be doing a giveaway. And then I think one of the crowning achievements of the year is our chapter awards, which I'll be talking about on the next slide. So the Chesapeake Chapter Awards, this will be our second annual. We had our first one last December. Will be held in December 3rd to be exact. And we strongly encourage you to nominate yourself or a colleague to win. So nominations are open September 1st and due by November 1st. And these awards are open to the Chesapeake chapter as well as people from outside the Chesapeake chapter, as we like to call them, our Chesapeake chapter friends. So if you're wondering what those are, we have a Rising Star Award, and this award is for bid and proposal professionals of any age with less than 10 years of experience in the field. Award is for APMP Chesapeake chapter members and other APMP chapter members. And we really all love the APMP awards that are done on the international level, but we figure this is a great opportunity for us to give some recognition to some people who may not be able to get it on a broader scale. Another award that we give out is for Volunteer of the Year. This award is for outstanding volunteer supporting the APMP Chesapeake chapter or an APMP Chesapeake chapter member who supports APMP at the international level. And if I didn't already mention it, this is only open up to Chesapeake chapter members. The Proposal Professional of the Year is an award for the is awarded for the Professional of the Year. I know that's redundant, sorry. This award is also limited to Chesapeake chapter members. We also have the APMP Chesapeake Chapter Capture and Business Development Professional of the Year. This award is for an outstanding professional in the field of capture and business development, and this is limited to APMP Chesapeake chapter members. And then the APMP Chesapeake Chapter Lifetime Achievement Award. This is for an outstanding individual in the proposal field with 20 or more years of experience in the profession. Again, this is limited to Chesapeake chapter members only. Next, Brenda. So this is my call to action. We would love it if you would get more involved in the Chesapeake chapter. It's fantastic if you can just be active by attending webinars and meetings like this, but we'd also love for you to become a chapter volunteer, either by joining our board or becoming a committee member. So you can self-nominate to join the board. And we would love to have you join us. I think it's such a valuable way, not only to give back to the community, but it's also a way to get a leadership experience outside of your company, to become more recognized in the industry, and opportunities to network. There's so many valuable experiences that are gained by being part of the board or volunteering for the board. So I strongly encourage you to self-nominate. It's not difficult to do. We'll be sending out information on those nominations, I believe, in October. And then if people want to join the board that are new to the board, we will vote on that in November. Next. So because we did this live earlier, you don't have the benefit and the excitement of waiting for who won the trivia question. But the answer to what year the Chesapeake chapter founded is 2011. And that was Mr. Townsend that won that. Next, Brenda. And then we did some polls. And so we were looking for feedback on how we can make this organization better for all of you. And so we asked, how often do you want to have a in-person networking event? Once a year, twice a year, once a quarter? Someone responded that they actually would like to do it 3 times a year, which made me laugh because that's how frequent we had done it this year. Typically, we do something once a quarter. We hold off for doing things in the first quarter in person just because the weather is so dicey in Maryland, so we don't often know what we're going to be facing. So, but often, well, so far we have been doing an event once a quarter, the second, third, and fourth quarter of the year. Next poll. And then the next was we asked, what time of day are you most likely to be able to attend an in-person event? Would it be in the morning, lunchtime, or evening? We did have one person say that they would like to do a morning event, but most people agreed that lunchtime would work best for them, but there were several people that said evening. Next. So next we asked for event location. What location would you be most likely to be able to attend an in-person event? Baltimore, Aberdeen, Columbia, Annapolis, the Washington, D.C. suburbs, near BWI, or all of the above because we like a location that varies. So primarily people said Annapolis and Columbia, which wasn't a surprise. We've had that feedback before, and we have been kind of focusing on having events in the Columbia, Baltimore, and Annapolis area. But we did have one or two people that said that a Washington, D.C. suburb would be nice. So we are considering that for next year. Next, Brenda. So we did offer an open discussion, and no one really chimed in other than to give us some suggestions on what kind of topics they would like to have going forward. And one of the ones that I thought was interesting was getting back to the basics, outside of certification, the basics of proposal management. So we will take a look at those suggestions and see how we can fulfill some of those requests for next year. And to wrap it up, it's really important that we get your feedback as chapter members to make sure that we're doing a good job and that we're meeting your needs. So please give us feedback if you've got suggestions or any ways that you feel like we can improve as chapter leaders. We're grateful for your feedback. The other thing, I don't want to overstate it, but it's really important to get involved. And so we really would like you to self-nominate for a board position or just reach out and become a volunteer. I think that becoming a committee volunteer is an excellent way to kind of get your feet wet and understand what sort of responsibility the chapter chairs have and decide whether or not that is something you could do easily and comfortable. But again, I can't tell you how valuable it is to be part of the chapter board. We have a great time. We have wonderful friendships. We're very supportive of each other, and we give each other advice, and we rely on each other's experience. So I hope that you will join the chapter as a volunteer or nominate for a board position. And also, please nominate yourself for an award. You deserve it. You're great at your job. Thanks again for everyone who could attend the in-person live broadcasting of this, or if you're watching this on replay, thanks for watching the replay.